Gill George, Delegate 16 conference. I know about 3 different fringe meetings that took place yesterday, and the first one, there was 1 delegate there. The second one, I think this was a meeting on climate change, there were 5 delegates there. And then there was our fringe meeting on the NHS, and that was a room that was packed full of people, and most of the people there weren't health workers, most of them were Unite members from other sectors. And I think that shows the potential, and people care about the NHS, and they're beginning to wake up to the scale of the threat to the NHS. Bit of history, and people will know this, but cuddly Jeremy Hunt, back at the start of October, he ratcheted up the attack on us and on the NHS. And he said that that 1% pay increase that even George Osborne said was affordable, Jeremy Hunt said, no, suddenly that one's going to be snatched away from you. And he said that he was going to end pay increments altogether, so trying to tear up Agenda for Change, completely without negotiation, just tear it up. And he said that future pay increases for health workers would be dependent on imposed 7-day working. And that's a huge, huge attack for a health service where most of us are women, and many, many women working for the NHS have got carers' responsibilities. Again, no negotiation at all. And the agenda here, yeah, it's partly about pay, but it's much more than that. This is Jeremy Hunt declaring war on NHS unions. And the agenda here, it's about attempting to destroy the ability of NHS unions to organise and fight back. Because what Hunt is actually seeking to do is drive through the dismantling of the NHS without any serious organised opposition. Massively serious situation. When we met as a NISC back in October, just after Hunt's announcement, we had one of the best discussions I can ever remember as a NISC, and then we took a unanimous vote at the end of that. And what we said was, okay, we've got to win this fight. And we all understood the problems. We know that a lot of our reps are tired and need support, and we know that our organisation in a fair number of places is weak. But we also understood that if we don't organise a serious fight back for the NHS on a scale that can push the Tories back, if we don't organise to win, then by 2015 it is going to be too late, because a lot of the NHS will have been destroyed and we will not get it back. And that means loads of stuff. We talked about that already. It means we've got to support our reps, we've got to throw our weight behind the community campaigns, we need more Lewishams and so on. But we also need to think in terms of serious industrial action by health workers. That does mean strike action by health workers, and we need to start to have that debate with our members out there on the ground and explain to them that Unite is trying to win this. And if we want to give confidence to our members in the health sector, then we have to go beyond that, and we have to make this a fight for the whole of the union as well. And Unite is Britain's biggest union. We've got 1 million+ members. Let's use that strength. I was chatting this morning to Tony Woodhouse, the guy who was chairing that first session, the national chair of our union, and he's a good guy. And Tony said to me he talked to his members about a general strike, and they weren't interested. They said, no, we're not going to do that, Tony. And then he talked to them about taking strike action all together to defend the NHS, and they said, yeah, we're up for that. And, you know, we can think about what we can go for, and stuff in this motion. We can go for things like levies across the union that could support full take-home pay for health workers taking strike action. We can make the NHS, so urgent that we do this, make the NHS a campaigning issue across the whole of the union. Every regional committee, every area activists committee, every branch, every community branch. We can use Unite's muscle to take forward wider industrial action. I couldn't care less what we call it. Coordinated action, mass action, national strike action, general strike. It doesn't matter what we call it. A joined up fight in Unite's public sector, but wider than that as well, because we need Unite to give a lead. just like we did with the Manchester demonstration. We need Unite to tell the other unions, this is what we're doing, we're going to defend the NHS, we expect you to join us. And if Unite gives that lead, then people will join us and people will fight for the NHS because people understand how precious it really is. And this is the strategy that the NISC agreed, and we voted on it, and we voted for that strategy unanimously. Simply because of the timescales and bureaucracy around conferences, it could only be brought here as an emergency. But the purpose of bringing it to this conference is to make sure that this becomes a strategy that all of us are part of, all of us understand that it's not the private property of the NISC, this is for our sector as a whole. And the bottom line is this, we can win this, we really can win this. And this is what we've got to take back to our workplaces, our regions, our occupational groups. Unite is serious, Unite is going to organise a fight for the NHS, Unite is going to win this one.
Gwyneth, are you going to second this?